This video is about, you'll be shown a picture of a quadratic function like this. You're given where this function cuts the x-axis. These are called the roots, minus 1 and 2. And they will say that the function is something like x squared plus bx plus c. And you're asked to find these values b and c. We do it by solving a simultaneous equation. Now what we do is, when minus 1 is the input, 0 is the output. So our function is 0 on the output. Here, when the input is minus 2, when the input is 2, the output is 0 as well. So if we stick in the inputs, in this case minus 1 to be squared plus b by minus 1 plus c, the output's going to be 0. So let's have a look at that. I'll do it here. I'll do it in black. So f of minus 1. The minus 1 comes from here. So when the minus 1 is the input, 0 is the output. So f of minus 1 is equal to minus 1 to be squared plus b by minus 1 plus c, and that's equal to 0. So minus 1 by minus 1 is 1, minus 1 by b is minus b, plus c is equal to 0. So we've got an equation with b and c. Let's do f of 2. So f of 2 is equal to 2 squared plus b by 2 plus c, and that's also equal to 0. It's equal to 0 because the function, when across the x-axis, the value of the output function is 0. So that's going to give me that 4 plus 2b plus c is equal to 0. Now these are our two equations here. This one and this one. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite them slightly. I'm going to go, I'll continue to use black. I'm going to take this one first, this one here, okay? And I'm going to write minus b plus c is equal to minus 1. I bring the 1 over to the far side, it becomes minus 1. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to go 2b plus c is equal to minus 4. The 4, I took 4 from both sides, so it becomes over here. Now what I do is I'm going to subtract. I'm going to take 2b, take away b. 2b, take away minus b is going to give me 3b. And c, take away c, gives me 0. And minus 4 minus 1 is minus 4 plus 1, which is minus 3. So 3b is equal to minus 3. That means b is equal to minus 1. And then if b is equal to minus 1, then I've got this equation here. I know that minus b plus c is equal to minus 1. So minus 1 plus c is equal to minus 1. Lots of minuses. 1 plus c is equal to minus 1. That means that c is equal to minus 2. So there's my final solution. I've got b is equal to minus 1 and c is equal to minus 2. There's the values. So my function is equal to x squared plus bx, which is minus x, so x squared minus x. And what's the value for c? Plus c, and c is equal to minus 2. So minus 2, that's my function, f of x. Okay? So make sure when you get an answer like this that you identify your answer nicely, so that the examiner can see it. So identify b is equal to minus 1 and c is equal to minus 2. The only other thing that you'll be asked at this stage in second year would be, where does this function cross the y-axis? Now what that means is it's trying to find out what's this point here. And what you may remember from an xy axis is that this particular line in here is the y-axis, and along this y-axis x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 all along this y-axis. So if I let x equal to 0 in here, I'm going to find out what the output is. So I'm going to get at x equals 0, that's going to give me all along the y-axis. So I'm going to get 0 squared minus 0 minus 2, and that's equal to minus 2. So the output function y is equal to minus 2. So this function, this point here is going to be minus 2. So it crosses the x-axis at minus 1 and 2, and across the y-axis at minus 2. I get this by substituting 0 into my function there. So it cuts the x-axis, sorry, the y-axis at y is equal to minus 2. Okay. Now, in the last part of the question, we worked out that our function was x squared minus x minus 2. In this question, in this follow-on, we'll be asked that the point k minus 4k is a point on this graph. Find two possible values for k. So, if this is our function f of x, we just put in k as our input, and our output is minus 4k. So we're going to get k squared minus k minus 2. And what's that equal to? Well, it's equal to minus 4k. So that's going to give us k squared. Our minus 4k, we add 4k to both sides because it gives us plus 3k minus 2 is equal to 0. So you've got this now a quadratic equation, and we solve this quadratic equation to find what values of k we get. So that will make that if I have a k as an input and minus 4 times that is the output, when we solve this quadratic equation, we will get those values for k. So let's solve the quadratic equation. We use it using the minus b formula. So we've got k is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There's our equation, by the way. K squared plus 3k minus 2. A is equal to 1, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to minus 2. Stick it into the minus b as per normal, and you're going to get these two values here. So k is equal to minus 3.56, or k is equal to 0.56. So this is your answer to the question which said, find two possible values for k. You found them. You plugged the k and the minus 4k into your function, x squared minus x minus 2. You put the k in for the input, the minus 4k is the output. You then got another equation, another quadratic equation here, and you solved it using the minus b formula, and you got these two answers. So that's your answer. And that's all you have to do. Now, let's have a quick look and see what our function looks like and what all these points look like on the function now. This is the function originally, x squared minus x minus 2. Here it is drawn here. You can see, if you remember, it had a root of minus 1 and 2. This is where they cut the x-axis. You can see here there's minus 1, 0, and there's 2, 0. It also cut the y-axis here at minus 2. You might remember that point as well. That is there. And here's, you see this blue line here? Here's your here's your 0.56, which was this number here, 0.56. And when your input is 0.56, your output is minus 4 times 5.6. And there it is here. So if you multiply 0.56, multiply it by minus 4, you're going to get minus 2.246. So you found a point on the graph, x squared minus x minus 2, where the input is, or the output is minus 4 times as big as the input. And there's another point as well, it's minus 3.56. So over here, over this side somewhere, at minus 3.56, if you multiply it by minus 4, you're going to get 14.24. So at minus 3.56, your answer is going to be 14.24 up here on the graph. Okay, I hope that helped, and talk to you soon.